pound cake is one of the easiest cakes to make, and it can also be super impressive. I'm gonna show you how to make a Bundt pound cake that's perfect for the holidays. This cake is called a pound cake because it's just a pound of each ingredient, which makes it super easy to memorize. So first, let's go ahead and put in a pound of butter. These are at room temperature. Now let's add in a pound of sugar. Now we're gonna cream these two ingredients together for a few minutes until it's light and fluffy. I'm gonna let it roll on, woo! on slow speed first, and then I'll make my way up to a higher speed. While that's running, let's crack our eggs. So here I'm gonna use 6 eggs. I'm cracking them into a bowl just to make sure that there's no shells before I put them in our mixer. Using high quality eggs will give you these really orange yolks, which will make your cake even more golden. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm looking for. You can see how light it is in color, it's fluffy, it's very aerated, and now we're ready to mix in our eggs. Put it on stir, and we can add 2 eggs at a time. And I'm gonna make sure that all the eggs are fully incorporated before I add the next 2. All right, once the eggs are all mixed in, I'm just gonna add a tablespoon of vanilla extract. That's really gonna give us the flavor. Once you have it mixed in, let's go ahead and scrape down the sides of our bowl. Now we're gonna grab a pound of flour, which is about 4 cups. I'm just gonna aerate it to wake it up a bit. Now I can grab, oh! It's always messy in the kitchen, right? All right, so let's grab a cup and level it out to make sure that our measurements are good. Now to this, I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt to balance out the sugar in this recipe. And now we're gonna add this in. So I have a little bit of milk that I'm gonna alternate with the flour. Even though a pound cake doesn't traditionally have milk in it, we're gonna add a little just to make sure that the pound cake is extra moist. All right, so let's add our flour in. Add about 1/3 of that in. And make sure to stir it first so the flour doesn't fly everywhere. And right when it looks like it's just incorporated, I'm going to add in half of the milk. Let's do another 1/3 of the flour, the rest of the milk, and you always want to finish off with the flour. All right, it's done. Our batter is ready. You can see how thick the batter is. That will give us a nice, dense pound cake. And I'm gonna scrape everything off of here because that is good batter that we don't want to waste. Oh. I swear, guys, I'm a professional baker. And then with my rubber spatula, just gonna make sure that all the flour from the sides of the bowl are in that batter. Our batter is perfect, and now we need to prepare this Bundt pan. One of the most important things when baking in a Bundt pan is to grease it and flour it really well, or else it won't release perfectly. So I'm just gonna take some room temperature butter and generously run it along the sides of the pan. I'm gonna use this paper towel to make sure that the butter gets into every crevice of this pan. This recipe will fill this entire Bundt pan, so make sure you grease the top edges as well. Now that this is nicely buttered, I'm gonna add some flour to it, and that will give us the extra assurance that our cake won't stick. Our flour is in, so now I'm gonna take this pan and shake it around so that it nicely coats the entire surface. Tap it as you go. Once you finish flouring your pan, you don't want to keep all this extra flour in there. We want to tap it out. So all you have to do is flip it over and give it a good tap. Ready? All right, look at how beautiful that is. This is what makes me so happy. Pretty pans and fluffy batter. Now, because of the shape of this pan, I'm just gonna use my spatula. It's a really heavy batter, so this is my suggestion. Just plop it so it'll really get down in there. And just go around the entire ring, plopping your batter in. Because we've been using this and putting in little pockets of batter, we wanna make sure that none of the air is trapped inside that, or else you'll have big air pockets in your pound cake. So I'm just gonna take this, vertically hold it up, and kind of push all the batter gently to pop out any air bubbles and also to even it out. Smooth it out, and we're ready to stick it in the oven. To make this cake a holiday showstopper, I'm gonna show you a quick and easy way to sugar some cranberries. So here I have a beautiful bowl of these shiny red cranberries. I'm gonna take a toothpick, poke it in on one end, and then I'm gonna dip this in a little bit of corn syrup. If you need to spread it, you can use another toothpick to do so. And then if you can, get most of the excess off. So now while these are sticky, I'm just gonna grab some glittery sugar, sprinkle it on. If you want better coverage, you can just roll it in your sanding sugar. And you can totally use regular sugar too, but I think this sparkliness makes it even cuter. So now we're gonna transfer it to a drying rack. I'm just gonna use another toothpick to get that off. You could do the same thing with some rosemary to bring in some green to your cake. So I just have rosemary sprigs here and dip it in. And then if you can't get some of the ends, you can just use a toothpick again and brush some onto each leaf. You don't want to drench it in the corn syrup or else it's going to be like one big gloppy mess and all your sprinkles will look kind of messy on there. So we just want a nice delicate amount. And then we can take this, just lay it right in the sanding sugar. And look, it looks like snow. So beautiful. This is going to bring in great color to our cake. And then just move it onto your drying rack and allow it to harden. All right, this is finished baking. I just took it out of the oven. I'm gonna place it on this cooling rack for about 15 minutes until we're able to flip it over. So it's really important to allow the cake to cool for a few minutes so that it can shrink a bit and pull away from the sides. That will give us the perfect release. So this cake has cooled and I'm able to, touch the pan. It's no longer hot. So now we're gonna flip it over. This is the moment of truth, and I know this is the part that might make you a little bit nervous, but don't worry. Rest assured, because we greased and floured the pan, it's gonna come out perfectly. I'm gonna take the cooling rack, flip it upside down, place it right on top of the Bundt pan, and now I'm gonna flip. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. It's gorgeous. It came out so easily from the pan. It has that nice golden crust that's signature of a pound cake. And if you want to do a little happy dance, I won't judge. Now that we took it out of the pan, I'm gonna let it continue sitting here until it reaches complete room temp, and then we can go on to glaze it. All right, so one thing about a bundt cake is that you might have a slight dome on the top. So we wanna just shave that down so we can have it nice and flat when we flip it back over. So the best thing to cut a cake with is a serrated knife. The teeth will allow us to cut through the crumbs really nice and easily. So I'm just gonna see where it's starting to flatten off. So right around here, and you can see it's going all the way around. I'm just gonna follow that line and score it all the way around. So it's better to go around and cut it than going across and sawing it. This allows a more even and consistent cut. Now we can gently lift this off. Look at that nice golden color inside. And you can save this for snacking. Let me give it a try. It's so delicious and soft. All right, now let's go on and glaze it. So here I have some confectioner's sugar or powdered sugar, and to it I'm gonna add a little bit of milk. If you want a thinner glaze, add more milk as you go. But for me, I'm just starting little by little so I can test its consistency. Now, before I add more milk in, I'm gonna add some vanilla extract because that will also loosen this glaze. And then we'll mix this up and see if we need more milk. Make sure to get the sides of the bowl as well as the bottom. And you're just gonna wanna mix it until there's no more clumps. If you want to flavor your glaze with anything else, instead of using vanilla extract, you can use fresh lemon juice, fresh orange juice, almond extract, really anything you'd like. Okay, so now this is nice and smooth. You can see how thick it is. This is the consistency I like. It has a peanut butter kind of feel to it, and it's gonna hold up real nice on the top of the bundt cake. Let's go ahead and decorate this now. I'm just gonna grab a spatula full, and I'm just gonna gently pat it onto the cake. And I'm gonna let gravity do its thing because the gravity is gonna just pull down some of that glaze off to the side. Grab big scoopfuls and go all the way around the cake. So we're gonna allow this to settle. In the meantime, I have my sugared cranberries as well as rosemary ready because before this glaze crust, I'm gonna wanna attach these so that it'll adhere nicely. I'm gonna build kind of a wreath. It should be dry enough for you to touch, and now I'm just gonna attach them right on top. All right, so we have some of our greenery down. Now let's go ahead with some of the cranberries. And this pop of red really makes it festive. Now you might have some cornstarch stringing, but that's okay. Just kind of pull them away. They are still a little bit sticky, so keep that in mind. That looks so pretty! That's Christmas! Look at this cake. Isn't it so festive? It's perfect for the holidays, and you could decorate it however you want. All right, so let's slice into it. Look at this perfect slice of cake. I'm so proud of myself, and I know you can make it too. Remember how easy it was? It was just a pound of everything, and we got this beautiful cake. So let's give it a try. That was so delicious, and it was so easy to make. I can't wait for you guys to try it. If you do, please leave in the comments below how you like it, and make sure to subscribe to Allrecipes for more videos like this. Happy holidays!
Oh, were you saying buns?
Yeah, bunts. I mean, big bunts are good too, but big bunts are...
I like small buns.
You always strike me as a big bun guy.